It is Thirsty Thursday. This is going to be a new style of video, just in case you didn't watch my last live stream, where I kind of talked about what I'm going to be doing, my new weekly schedule. So, here it is. This is Thirsty Thursday. I do have some notes about some things I'm going to talk about and stuff like that. This is going to be kind of a podcast style video. So if you want to pop it on, not watch the gameplay, just pop it on, listen to it while you're in the shower, listen to it, whatever you want to do while you're listening to it. Do the dishes, do whatever you want. The gameplay aspect of it is not going to be super important. Really, what's going to be important is kind of what I'm saying. But if you want to watch it, watch it. It's here for a reason. You can definitely watch it as well. But if you guys, in the description of the video, I did say let me know what you guys would like to see. So these videos are pretty much going to be me talking about what I found important from the last week or so. This first one's going to pretty much what I found important from the last month, just because there's some interesting things that I think are going on in the world right now. So just going to talk a little bit about that stuff. Going to have a news in real life section where I kind of talk about important stuff, maybe like political news, stuff going on in the real world. And then also have a YouTube and celebrity segment as well, where I talk about stuff like Logan Paul moving to Puerto Rico, David Dobrik getting in trouble recently, stuff like that, which I'm going to touch on those topics here in this video today. But yeah, just wanted to kind of give you a sense of what these videos are going to be. Essentially going to be broken down into 3 sections every video, where you have your real news, so real life stuff, politics, social change, stuff like that. And then you're going to see YouTube and celebrity news as your other 2 kind of pockets to this podcast style video. But like I said, let me know if you guys would rather see a face cam on the video. I can do that as well. Obviously, you see the Rockstar symbol right there. I am going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm going to be starting the story mode from the beginning, so if you guys want to see a full playthrough of this game, just let me know. This can technically kind of be a double video. Kill 2 birds with one stone, and give you a first part of Grand Theft Auto 5, and then also give you a Thirsty Thursday podcast. So just let me know what you guys want to see. Definitely love seeing comments. So comment your heart away and let me know what you want to see. I definitely want to cater to what my audience wants to see. So definitely let me know. All right.
Pays attention. No one gets hurt. Go! Open the door. They'll get worse than hurt. Hey! Come on! Finally! Let's go!
Cool. So usually I care about you guys hearing the stuff in the background. I think for this video, I am going to go ahead and turn down, let's see, I think, I'm not sure how to do it. Okay. I was going to turn down the game's audio, but not exactly sure how to do it. But anyway, so first topic, or first section really, is going to be real life news, so political stuff, and I pretty much only really want to talk about one thing here, as I'm breaking the law and not being political in any way. Mostly want to talk about Texas and what's going on in Texas right now.
All set. Phone it in. I'm making the call.
First of all, I want to say, if you can, donate to any Texas relief fund you can find. Make sure it's a legit one. But if you can donate, even if it's just $1, do it. I will put a link in the description after I'm done streaming today. So if you want to check back, I'll put a link in the description, just pretty much just so that you guys can go donate to something and kind of help the people of Texas out a little bit. They're going through a struggle even still. So yeah, that's the first thing. If you don't know what's going on in Texas, they were hit by a winter storm where they got like inches of snow and just like people were literally freezing to death. I heard a story of a man who literally fell, like a 70-something-year-old man who fell in his front yard in Texas and couldn't get up. And after not being able to get up, he died. He literally froze to death outside on his front porch, just dying. Just laid there dying. So seriously, if you can donate, it's a really good cause right now to donate to that. I know some people might be like, oh, like F Texas, like they voted for Trump or whatever. That doesn't matter right now. What matters is that people are dying, people are suffering, kids are having to sleep super cold. Some kids aren't even able to sleep because they're so cold, or were at least. So definitely donate, help out. And then also I wanted to go ahead and touch on some political stuff with this Texas situation as well. As you guys probably have heard, it's been memed to death at this point. They're one of their representatives, a very famous one that goes by the name of Ted Cruz. He pretty much fled to Mexico. Also, I haven't played this game in a while, so cut me some slack on that end if I die. But yeah, so going off of Ted Cruz, right? I think, first thing, I don't like Ted Cruz. I'm gonna put it out there right now. I do not like Ted Cruz. I think he is a horrible person. And it's not because he's a Republican. It is simply because I think he is very bought and paid for as a politician. I don't think he really cares about the people of Texas at all. If he does, it's very, very little and not at all obvious. Oh man, I want to see the menu. I want to see the menu. Can I see the menu? I want to change my settings because let's see, my sensitivity is really low. Is there a way to change that? Sensitivity. Yeah, I feel super slow. Aiming sensitivity specifically feels pretty slow. Look around sensitivity also just in general feels slow. Alright. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to preface what I'm saying right now by just saying that I do not think he's a great person. And I don't think that his politics really represent the people of Texas that much. I think they mostly represent those who fund his political campaign and his political endeavors, which is not how politicians should work. I'm not saying that it's only him, but I am saying that because we're talking about him specifically, I think that he is very much one of those type of politicians. And I hate it. I really, really hate it. I'm very idealistic in the way that I think politicians should work. I think they should work for the people that elected them. So that's all I have to say about that. Before I go into what I'm about to say here, and why I want to talk about Ted Cruz and him leaving to Mexico in the middle of his state, and people of his home state literally freezing to death, and losing power and losing basic necessities. I just want to say, I think that that's such a cowardice move. And then not only to say something, not only did he flee Texas and go to Mexico, basically, he also blamed it on his daughters, and just said that he was just being a good dad and they wanted to go, and he was just being a good dad by like chaperoning them. That would make a little bit of sense, except for the fact that he then backpedaled and just straight up apologized for going, and then after apologizing he said that whoa. Okay. Then after apologizing, he said that it was just like a bad decision on his part or whatever, or a mistake or something like that. But at the end of the day, he basically admitted that it wasn't because of his daughters, because if you were going that route of saying, I just went to chaperone my daughters, why would that be a mistake? If anything, you should have said something along the lines of, oh, now you're bashing me for good parenting because I wanted to be a good parent and chaperone my daughters on a trip that they wanted to take. So I was just taking them and then going to come right back, which was his initial lie. He then backpedaled on that and just said, like, you know, it was a mistake. I shouldn't have gone, whatever. And also, he says he was just going to go and then come back, but he had a huge suitcase with him. Like, come on, dude. You were going on vacation while your constituents were literally suffering. And I think that is unexcusable. And I think the people of Texas deserve a hell of a lot better than that. I think they deserve a lot better than that, to be quite frank with you. So the real, like, with you, the main thing I wanted to kind of say here was
He's a good kid.
that I think
He's a good kid?
as Americans, we need to start.
Why? Does he help the fucking poor? No. He sits on his
I'm
ass
gonna let
all
this
day,
cutscene play out a little
smoking
bit.
dope and jerking off while he plays that fucking game. If that's our standard for goodness, no wonder this country's...
All right, skipped over it. But I think that if you guys want to see me play this game, I can play it, and I'll let the cutscenes play out. But just for this video, I'm just gonna use like gameplay pretty much, and skip all the cutscenes that I can.
You always was old choosy, motherfucker. Only
So, anyway.
right up here, homie. I'm about to go nice and slow for your bitch ass. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm never good at this level. I'm always really shitty at this level, just to be completely honest with you. But anyway, like I was saying, I think that in general, the people of the United States need to be more aware of who they're voting for, and their stances on pretty much every single thing. So I'm a big advocate on citizens being made as aware as possible to every decision that their elected officials make. And this decision that he made was to leave his state, regardless. Oops. Regardless of if he says it was. Oops. Regardless of if he says it was because of his daughters or whatever, he made the decision to still leave his state, knowing what was going on, to leave his state and say, hey, yeah, whatever's going on right now is not as important as me taking my daughters on a vacation. No matter what, even if his initial lie was correct, no matter what, he told the people of Texas that his priorities were taking his daughter or his daughters to Mexico in the middle of a climate crisis in Texas. So I really don't like the guy. I think the people of Texas deserve better, and I think he deserves to be voted out as soon as he possibly can. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on that topic. You definitely do not have to agree with me in any way, shape, or form. That's the great thing about the U.S. If you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know why you think I'm wrong. And we can have a conversation in the comments. I'm totally cool with that. I would love to have a conversation with you if you think that I am wrong. I'm always up for a conversation. And I do use the word conversation literally. I'm up for a conversation. I'm not up for a debate or anything like that. I'm not trying to debate anyone. I can politically debate with the best of them, but that's just not what I'm trying to do on my YouTube channel. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to a little bit less serious news. we're going to talk about some YouTube news. And the YouTube news I wanted to talk about today, I have two things actually. I have two things for YouTube news and nothing for celebrity news, because I haven't really heard anything about celebrity news that I cared enough to talk about this week. So yeah, but YouTube news: Logan Paul moving to Puerto Rico. I tweeted something and put out a Facebook post not that long ago, basically just saying why Logan Paul, haven't my people suffered enough? Which I think is true. I think his reasons, and I'm not saying that I don't think anyone, obviously anyone's reasons for moving to anywhere in history has always been selfish and thinking about themselves. Nobody says, oh hey, I'm gonna move to Washington because I think it will be good if I go and spend my money in Washington. nobody thinks that way.
Who you calling a nigga?
Anyway, like I said, skipping scenes. Oops.
How about we fall through, homie?
Yeah, let's go. Get in the car. Cool.
I'm gonna knock a bad, grown and sexy bitch if I ain't got a fat peas eye.
Who you trying to impress?
Your
Oops.
auntie Denise with all that ass.
But yeah, so
She grown. Yeah. She grown into a
obviously I know that people's reasoning for
She more like obsessed with sex, nigga.
leaving any place and moving to a new place is gonna be more selfish than it is not. Just because if you're moving somewhere, obviously you're thinking about what benefits it has for you to move, especially for someone like Logan Paul, who is doing well in California and has been doing well in California for quite a little while now. So obviously if he were to move out of California, he would have to think that his situation was going to be enhanced in some way, and that it would be better off for him to move there. But I think that
Are you cooking for me tonight, boy?
no, I'm not cooking for you tonight. I think that his reasoning for moving, which is basically just like saying, hey, I'm leaving because he even admits it, his primary reason for leaving is just straight up that the taxes, which state tax in Puerto Rico is 0, just like in Texas. That is his primary reason for leaving California. Is that okay? Talk whatever. His primary reason for leaving California is that he wants to not have to pay taxes, which is fine. Corporations find ways to get around taxes literally every single day. So that is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. Anyway. Oops. Oh, hey. My license plate says Dan Dan. I'm not sure why it says that. I guess I made it say that at some point. Anyway. Well, that's my name. Call me Dan Dan. Alright, anyway. Like I was saying,
too close.
I do think that just in general, people's reasons are generally going to be more selfish than not to move somewhere. Unless you're moving for someone or for a job or something like that. But in general, I understand that. But I just think this reason of him, where he just flat out says, yeah, the primary reason is, like, so I don't have to pay taxes. And then he goes out and says things like, oh, yeah, like, I only have to be there 6 months out of the year. Like, I can still be in, like, California. I'll still be in LA or whatever. Like, I only have to be there 6 months out of the year. Don't worry. Like, saying stuff like that, I think, is a little detrimental just to the island, just because it makes other people think, like, oh, hey, maybe I'll move to Puerto Rico just for 6 months out of the year, just so that I don't have to pay state taxes. And while, yeah, I think it's great revenue-wise for Logan Paul to move out there, because he's going to be spending money out there, obviously. He's buying a house, he's doing all this stuff. I don't necessarily think it's going to have a seriously negative impact on the economy in Puerto Rico in any way. But I do just think that it's a little dangerous to be putting that kind of, or not dangerous, just irresponsible, which we're talking about Logan Paul, so don't expect anything super responsible from him anyway. But I just think it's a little irresponsible for him to just put that out there, that, yeah, basically the only reason I'm going is so that I don't have to pay state taxes, and it's pretty and it's nice, and pretty much, which I kind of found a little bit insulting, pretty much said that a big reason why he wants to go there as well is because he can kind of zone out, because there's nothing to do there. So he can kind of zone out and just get into his, like, boxing, which, like, dude, come on. Puerto Rico has so much to do. It's not just, sorry, dude, sorry, I ran you over. Puerto Rico has so much. It is not just, there's a culture there, and for you to kind of just say, like, oh, Puerto Rico's not really, there's nothing really to do in Puerto Rico, like, how about you fucking get out of your fucking resorts or wherever the fuck you go, get out of your $1 million areas and see real Puerto Rico. Don't go live in Puerto Rico and not learn about the culture. Don't go live in Puerto Rico purely for the aesthetics of taking pictures of your $1 million house that you're buying with your brother, and, like, have and talk about, like, hot bitches or whatever, and, like, or hoes. That's the word you used, hoes. Don't talk about hot hoes, hot Puerto Rican hoes, when you can't even talk to them because you don't know Spanish. And I'm not saying that I know Spanish, because I don't know Spanish that well. But what I'm saying is, if I were going to move to Puerto Rico, I'd learn the language, and obviously I know the culture already because I'm Puerto Rican, but, like, I'd learn more about the culture even before living there. For example, I'm sure that he didn't just go to LA and think it was going to be exactly as, I don't know where he's from, Ohio, Columbus, I don't know, somewhere. I'm sure he didn't think it was going to be exactly like that, and just, like, not learn about LA culture, like party scenes and stuff like that. Take your time and learn about Puerto Rican culture, so you don't just walk around looking like a freaking colonizer. And I'm not trying to say that he's a bad guy or anything like that. I'm literally just putting it out there that I think he should, if he's going to move to a place, regardless of where that place is, do your homework more than just going to visit the place and saying, "Oh, hey, I fell in love and there's like not really anything to do, so I can zone in on like boxing, and on top of that, like the primary reason, I don't have to pay taxes, so that's great." No, like come on, like be an adult, say, "Hey, I fell in love with the area. I absolutely love the scenery. I fell in love with the people. Fell in love with the culture, the music, the food. Just like if you're gonna live there, embrace it all. Embrace what it means to be from the island and from Puerto Rico. Embrace what it means to live there. Embrace the hardships that they've gone through. Acknowledge those hardships. Like there's a lot of history there, and there's a lot of people that are there that don't like Americans, to be quite honest, and a lot of it is because they feel like they're just being taken over as if they're another state, and just having Americans move in and take over land, and driving up property prices and stuff like that. And I don't think Logan Paul moving in somewhere, buying a multi-million-dollar house or whatever, is going to drive up the market price at all, because the market price is already driven up in those areas where he's going to move to. But I do think that eventually, if people like Logan Paul continue to put out this idea that like getting a place in Puerto Rico is just a great way to avoid taxes, you're gonna start seeing some of the locals being driven out to the outskirts of cities and stuff like that, and you're gonna start to see the locals not be able to afford to live in their own areas anymore, and you're basically going to see the gentrification of an entire island, which is insanely sad. So all I'm saying is that I think Logan Paul should just put out a video when he gets to Puerto Rico and just talk about like more than just the taxes. Like, great, okay, you're saving on taxes, cool. Talk about what else you love about it. You say that there's a plethora of other reasons. Talk about them. Talk about them the way that you talked about the tax stuff. If you really think that there's a plethora of other reasons, then tell us those other reasons. Like, even if it's something stupid like saying that like the women there are beautiful. Alright, the women there are beautiful. Tell us that. Or something like the food there is great. Anything. Like just give us something other than there's nothing to do, so you can focus on boxing and there's no taxes.
Repeat after me. Think this crazy motherfucker wants something.
But anyway, moving on from Logan Paul, because I think I talked about him for quite a bit here. But yeah, moving on from Logan Paul, like I said. Just wanted to talk about... Oops, sorry. My bad, bro. Just wanted to talk about... Hey. Oops. The neighborhood was alerted. Well, they're gonna be alerted anyway. Come on, man. That's dumb. Anyway.
The bike should be in one of the lockups down here.
So basically, the last thing I wanted to talk about is David Dobrik. He's also, obviously, YouTube news.
Think this crazy motherfucker wants something. Hey, what's up, homie? You alright? No, away from me! Purple Zappo agents! Yeah, you thought I was gonna hit your bitch ass, huh? Drunk ass.
I did hit him.
Be cool, nigga.
Alright, dude. Chill. Alright, anyway. So like I was saying,
Keep it moving, bitch.
last thing I wanted to talk about was Logan, not Logan.
Keep it smooth, homie.
Man, your pussy the only thing that's smooth up in this shit.
Man, what exactly did I do in the past life to
David
deserve this
Dobrik.
stupid ass?
David Dobrik, I personally
You didn't Vagos
think
the team?
he's too sweet looking of a guy, anyway, so I haven't necessarily
Hey, hold up.
thought that he was the best guy. Saw him in person once when he came to U of I. I think it was maybe like a year ago or so. He came to U of I to do a thing with Bumble, I believe.
Deduction is telling me it's right there.
And he drank at one of our local bars and had fun and stuff. But
Man, ain't this bitch? Ain't no motherfucking.
he's an Illinois kid. He wasn't born here, but he's an Illinois kid, so
So you're trying to creep up in here, man?
Yeah, you saw this motherfucker?
I did wanna like him. But just the pictures I've seen of him and stuff like that, I do really think
Grab that heat. Get some fucking hands on there, homie. Fuck, they must have heard some shit. Find your bitch ass some cover.
where are these people at? Alright, let's go first person.
Fool, I ain't making no friends out here, homie. Homie, get out. We trapped down this alley. Now look what you done gone and done. Follow me, let's get through this. Damn, it's a gang of niggas out here. They got their whole hood with them.
You make friends wherever your ass go, nigga.
Check that door. They trying to mask us. Get that car, homie. How many they got? Some more of them niggas. Light them niggas up. Whoa, you dead motherfucker.
What was I saying? But yeah, I wanna really like him because, like I said, he's an Illinois kid and stuff like that.
He is right there. Hey, nigga, come here. We got your pink slip. Let's get him.
We really gonna repo after all this bullshit.
But I don't know. There's just something about him,
Get him, homie. I wanna
about
get
his face.
Pain ain't worth shit when you
And I know that that's like so superficial, but there's something about his face that just looks too innocent and too sweet to be real.
Man,
You know?
lost him already.
So whenever something bad comes up about him, I kind of tend to believe it anyway.
Motherfuckers getting away from
But in this case, what I'm about to talk about,
Oh, shit, Professor, you're right.
also there is literally photographic evidence of it, or not photographic, but video evidence of him doing the things that this guy alleged that he did. Well, not alleged, because
Don't play the blame.
there's, like I said, video evidence of it.
Don't play the blame.
And
man. Just get on this shit.
in a video, David Dobrik,
Look out the way. Bye-bye, asshole. Take the bike and meet me at the car wash round the way. Be cool.
David Dobrik said that, is he dead? Oh, yeah, he is. Not David Dobrik. Yeah, David Dobrik said that, everything was, like, consensual or whatever. But, it turns out that this guy, he had in one of his videos, is now coming out saying that, David Dobrik and Steve Nash, and just the whole vlog squad in general, have a very, like, culty, like, type of environment where, like, you gotta kind of earn your way in and stuff like that. So while he was trying to earn his way in, he was agreeing to do all these type of videos. And one of the videos that he had agreed to do was one of him kissing a woman in a mask. Kind of just making out with her or whatever. The girl that he thought he was going to kiss, not bad looking. She's a very pretty girl, so, like, obviously, why would he have a problem making out with her since he is a straight male? For a video, I'm sure he would have no issue making out with her. But then they took off the mask, and it turned out to be Steve Nash,
Man, I can't hang with
and not the girl that he thought he was making out with. So they literally made him, basically forced him to make out with a guy, and deceived him, and they did it for a laugh in a video, which I think is super, super, super douchey. And I think should get him in some sort of trouble. Legally, definitely should get him in some sort of trouble. That's pretty much sexual assault. You can't deceive someone into making out with anyone. And I know some people, Philip DeFranco, I think, said it best. People will say, oh, like, what's the big deal? He kissed the guy for a little bit. Who cares? But, like, at the same time, if you replace him with a young woman, which is horrible to say, like he pointed out in his own video, it's horrible to say that, like, kind of switching genders makes a difference, but for most people, because of these, like, built-up gender norms that we have in our heads, if it were a young woman that had been deceived into making out with Steve Nash, would most likely instantly see that as wrong. So it should be wrong as well for David Dobrik to have deceived a young man to make out with Steve Nash. And then going even further into that whole situation, apparently they deceived him into doing it again, where David Dobrik had asked this guy to make out with Steve Nash for a video again, and the man said no repeatedly. So then apparently David Dobrik asked him to be in a commercial for him, with him. And obviously, if David Dobrik asked you to be in a commercial and you're trying to get into his vlog squad, you're obviously going to be like, hell yeah, like, I'm going to do that. Like, if literally any big YouTuber asked me to do a project with them, I'm saying yes. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, anyone. If literally any big YouTuber asked me to do a project with them, I'm saying yes. Not because I necessarily like them as a person or anything like that, but because it gives me the chance to grow my platform and do something that I love to do, which is making videos for you guys. It gives me the chance to do that while also trying to kind of be a good influence on someone. I know that people generally think, oh, obviously, like, the person with more fame or whatever is the good influence, or is going to be the influencer. But I mean, look at Logan Paul and his right-hand man, Mike. I think Mike has been an amazing influence on Logan Paul. And they share this dynamic where Logan is obviously a little bit more well-known bigger of an influencer or whatever. But even Logan admits that he was influenced by Mike, and kind of Mike took up a mentor type of role with Logan. So I don't think that that's out of the question if I were to get invited to do something with someone. But anyway, like I was saying, I would jump on the opportunity to do something like that. So I'm sure he jumped on the opportunity, which he says that he absolutely did, which makes sense. And then once he got to the shoot, he realized that they were going to ask him to make out with, like, gorillas in mask or whatever. He did it because he was trying to be a good sport. And then the gorilla that he was asked to make out with took off its mask, and guess who it was? Yep, you guessed right, because most of you, or at least some of you, have probably seen the video. It was Steve Nash again. Which, this guy, like, I hate to say it, but, like, come on, dude. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you have some thing about kissing guys that you want to, like, it's fine to kiss guys, but at least kiss guys who are consenting adults and not guys who are being deceived in hopes to try to have some stupid laughter because you can't be funny in any other way. Anyway, Steve Nash generally don't think he's the best guy. Like, genuinely do not think he's the best guy, and that's for sure. He's a bit of a douchebag from what it seems, and I think that if what's being said about David Dobrik is true, and that he really did deceive this guy like this just for laughs and just for, like, views and content or whatever, I think that maybe once he was that sweet-faced guy, and maybe Steve Nash and maybe just, like, the YouTube clout and whatever got to him to where he's not really thinking through his actions too much. But if that is true, I'm just going to go out and say that is a very, very douchey thing to do and a very, very shitty thing to do, and he should face some sort of repercussions for it if it is, in fact, 100% true. Which, I'm not saying that it is true. It could not be true. In that case, fuck this guy for putting out false information about someone. And it would most likely be false just to try and gain some clout off of David Dobrik's name. But if it is true, like, David Dobrik, you gotta issue an apology, dude. At the very, 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 very least. You have to issue an apology. You have to sincerely look back on your actions and think about the way you want to make content, and think about, do you want to make content that you think is funny at the expense of other people? But yeah, not that David Dobrik's ever going to watch this, but yeah, that would be my advice. Reflect and think about how you want to make content on YouTube. You have the platform now. You can literally go in any direction you want, and you will have people who follow you. So think about the way you want to make content. Think about if you want to continue to make this slapstick humor that is not scripted in any way and is non-consensual. Just think about that stuff. Take it to heart, and really reflect on that. Anyway, that's my advice to David Dobrik, who's never going to listen to or watch this video. But, yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video off here. That's all I had for you guys today. I will see you guys in the next one. Like I said, let me know what you guys want to see out of these videos, and I will definitely do my best to provide that for you. All right. Peace out, guys. Love you. Stay safe. Keep each other safe.